Now, next 30 days is the most important training for the new LC, as well as for your personal MO. Why? Well, because it gives them the basics to do. Let's face it, generally people when they come into our business, especially our business, because the products are very visual, it's simple, we understand it. Since we're 3 years old, we understand what jewelry is, what fashion is. Every single day, after all, we get dressed, we put our watch on, we put earring on, our makeup on. So at the end of the day, we think we understand business just because the products are so simple. Well, the products are simple, and it helps a lot. But at the end of the day, if you don't understand how to run a business, doesn't matter what it is, you're not going to succeed. So it's important that we give people step-by-step foundation of how to start properly, how to launch properly. The word we use in this business is launching your business, not joining your team, not joining your MLM, not to sign up. The word is launching. Semantics do matter. Don't put us in the same category as the other 2,000 companies that sell the latest and greatest juice or potion or lotion or some type of a shake. No, we launch malls. That's what we do. And not just any malls. We launch VDMs, virtual designer malls. So it's important that you start using the semantics the way it should be. So you get started right away. Instantly, if I launch it tonight, I want to make sure that the very first thing you know is about Tuesday night, which is our next 30 days action plan, and the Launchpad. Now, you saw how important the Launchpad was, because what the Launchpad is like a transmission in your car. You can have an engine, you can have a car, and if you're stuck in first gear, no matter how much you press, you only go so far. What the Launchpad will do is give you different shifts, different gears, go from level to level to level to get you into overdrive. It's very important. Without the Launchpad, you're stuck in first gear, because we have a free-flowing plan. Generally, everybody gets started and maximize a plan from day one. That is a great part of our business. That is why we create so many full-time direct sellers. People come in and replace their income. The downside to that is because you don't have to qualify for your commissions like you do for other companies. Most people think they're done working. So you need to make sure that they have something to shoot for. And as I talked about in a recent video that I did with Ronan from Australia, is that the compensation plans of the industry are corrupted. They basically say, we give you out 50%, but they put all these ranks in. And initially, basically what happens is when you got ranks, in order for you to maximize the plan, you actually have to be at the top level. Well, how many people actually get that? Well, I don't believe in that, so I created the world's first free-flowing compensation plan, which means from day one, you start as a diamond and work your way towards a diamond. As Sean talked about earlier, you maximize the plan. That's the upside. The downside is, well, for most people, that means I guess I'm done working. No, this is where the Launchpad comes in. At the end of the day, you can have a 100% payout. If you're not out there working the business, 100% of nothing is still nothing. The Launchpad is so important, gives them that direction. The next 30 days, tell them step by step what they need to do. This is why I keep saying Tuesday night is a must. It may even be more important than a Sunday night. Why? Because this is the basic, the foundation of your business. So you start, first 7 days, you will upgrade to a Diamond VDM right away and get your monumental bonus products while this promotion is still up. When I first did the double IA, as you see it in the Launchpad, the extra $4,500, that was supposed to be a 90-day promotion. It's such a hit. A year later, we're still going with it. It's very, very important. Not only you get the bonus product, of course, you go up to 1,000%. Between the difference in commissions is up to 1,000% more as a diamond as it would be as a silver. Of course, you got higher buying power. So you want to make sure you either start as a diamond if you can, and it's okay to borrow. We've talked about this before. You borrow for everything else in your life. You ever use a credit card to put gas in your car? Guess what? You're borrowing. You ever use a credit card to go ahead and pay for your vacation, hotel rooms, whatever it is? You're borrowing. You have a car lease. You have a mortgage. You're borrowing. So it's okay to borrow. If anything, every financial expert on the planet, including Robert Kiyosaki, will tell you it's a much better investment to borrow for a business than it is for consumption, including your home. Including your home. So it's okay to borrow to get the diamond right away. So we have outside that, we even have other means for you to get the diamond That doesn't cost you a penny. Sean talked about that earlier. So again, it's important for your new person to get to see exactly different ways to get to diamond. That's why the Tuesday night is so vital. Maybe right now you're sitting over there shaking your head saying, you know what? Now I know what I missed. Now I know what I didn't do. So if you maximize your speed, Tuesday has to be a big part of it. So first 7 days, you want to go to diamond, and you want to get your bonus products and maximize your income. Target 2, first 30 days. Shoot for it. Go for it. Go for the ambassador. Go for your A pen, ambassador pen. Some have done it. You see it. Every time somebody does it, we put it on our corporate Facebook page. People are doing it everywhere. In Nigeria, doing it in Germany, doing it in States, in Canada. It's happening. You can do it as well. I'm telling you, it's very much possible. You only need to launch 10 mediums. That's it personally, and work with them, and you'll get there. Of course, what does that do? It gets you $26,500 worth of incentives, cash, products, and so forth. What an amazing way to start. Preparation. You've got to prepare. We're expanding right now at the office. You've seen the expansion party flyers, posters are going up. We're hiring. The reason why we're doing that is because we're hiring more staff, and we need a place for them to work at. So we're taking over the other side of the office and putting in the cubicles and so forth. When we hire someone, we take them through serious preparation with folders, with information bring home and read. They watch the tour just like you do. They go through about a week of serious training. And that's for a job. That's not for a lifetime security or, a financial freedom like some of you guys are doing. I mean, people coming in a business within 6 months, they're making over $20,000 a month. It's already happening. You know about it. If you're at all connected to our business, you know who they are. You know what's happening regularly. So for an opportunity that gives you that potential, is it okay for you to prepare yourself a little bit and wait a job? It takes about a week to prepare you for something that basically gets you, hooked for the next 40 years and retire on a pension, which means you'll be checking bags at Walmart. So preparation is important. Take some time. Company information, it's there. Website, email, info. If you have any questions, number one place you go to is your upline, what we call your My 5, because they have 9 out of 10 questions they can answer for you. And you get a much better personalized service because at the end of the day, they are your uplines. They have far more time to spend with you for hours, maybe take you through something. If you can't, then you can always send an email to us or ticket system from your back office. And we have a wonderful staff here that will take care of you at that point. The G line is basically a recorder for some people who like to use the telephones. You can use that as toll-free. Facebook News, Global Wealth Trade Corporation is your #1 source you go to for the latest and greatest. #1. Everything else you see everywhere else, whether it's GWT Family, my personal page, so forth, they all derive from Global Wealth Trade Corporation. So that is your daily visit. So when you go on Facebook, it's not to see who's on news feed and who's doing what Aunt Matilda is doing, who your high school friends are doing for 30 years ago. That's not what you're interested in right now. What you need to do is to go to Global Wealth Trade Corporation, very first thing, anything new there, like, comment, share on your page. And when your people see you do that, they're going to start doing that. So Facebook training, Forensic Networker Nation. I put something up there in today. Most of the time, it's Forensic Networker. Sometimes I say something of value. Today was about the secret. I'm subscribed to a lot of good things like that. And the secret's another really good posting today, and I put it up on Forensic Networker. Many of you have liked and commented on it. So you want to make sure you want your daily method of clarity, daily dosage of clarity. You want to go to Forensic Networker Nation once a day. Visit that. Like, if you're new, spend a couple of hours on both of these pages. Keep scrolling down, click, watch, listen. On the Forensic Networker Nation, there is a couple of audio files there that you have to scroll down to see. And the most important one is the Forensic Upline. Make sure you find it on that page and listen to it, because that is one file that you want to listen to every single day. And the Forensic Upline, I personally have it on my iPod. When I wake up in the morning, I listen to it at least 4 or 5 days in a row in a month. Why? Everything I talk about on that is something you need to use every single day. And I wrote it, and I created it. I've done it for 20 years, and I've still listened to it. You want to make sure you do the same thing. Make sure you go out there, spend a couple of hours, scroll down, read every posting, like, comment, share, and make that your daily task as well. Video tools, YouTube. We do have a YouTube channel, fantastic. It's called the Global Wealth Trade Corporation. Go there, and I know when you go Global Wealth Trade, there's 10,000 things will show up. How you can distinguish one from the other is that we're the only one with a Global Wealth Trade logo. Now, we've seen a couple of LLCs from around the world who are not aware. They use our logo. Very quickly, you can tell that it's not the company. And those people will always get a call from us saying that remove the logo. You cannot use the logo as your YouTube posting because that confuses people to know which one is the official website. But Global Wealth Trade Corporation's our YouTube channel is categorized all the videos from ferry to fashion shows to commercials, forensic networker, tours in different languages. You want to make sure you spend a lot of time there because if you happen to have a prospect, for example, in Poland and they want to get information in Polish, guess what? There is a tour there in Polish and it's on that page. So you want to make sure that you're there. You start going around, looking at everything so you have a very clear understanding what's where. Company events. We have advanced training webinars on Sundays, different topics, again, and also a lot of releases, a lot of the news, upcoming events are all being announced there. You want to make sure that we always have a Tuesday, Sunday culture. Tuesday is an absolute must for all your new people and yourself because the stuff we're talking about, as you can see, there's a lot there for you to learn even if you've seen it a number of times. Sunday, who knows what it is? You want to make sure that you're there. Startup training webinars we talk about, which is tonight, Tuesday, and tonight I'm going to bring you to the updated version. And by the way, the company calendar has all these things on it. So if somebody says, if you're new, you're a little bit confused, go to the company calendar in your back office. By the way, your back office is something, again, when you first launch, you want to make sure that you spend a couple hours on there, every single link, every single document, so you know where everything else. Because if you don't know where everything else, when you launch a new mall, when they ask you a question, they may say you don't know, guess what? They don't know. Now that's the culture of I don't know. It's okay to say I don't know, but some basic things you should know. And we have it all there for you. You have a gorgeous website, fantastic back office, multi-languages. You want to make sure that you know when it's possible to know. Annual convention, an absolute must. You want to make sure you're there. As you know, the early bird just finished. But out of policy of no member left behind, you want to make sure that if you launched after the early bird was finished, then we want to make sure we give you the same opportunity we gave people who registered with the convention 5 months ago. And that is that you get the early bird pricing. So you got 7 days from the time you launch to make sure you register and you will get it at the early bird pricing, which is $50 off if you're single, $100 off if you get a double. So you want to make sure that as an upline that all your new people know, because when they don't know, later on they'll look at you and say, why didn't you do your job? Why didn't you tell me that when I first launched, I could have saved some money? So it's important that you let everyone know to register right away. By the way, the numbers are going up fast. So much like last year, I know we're going to sell out. There's going to be some disappointed people. You want to make sure that, try to minimize the number of disappointed people in your team. Get them to take action now. One of the most important support system that you have is called your My5. These are your uplines who are above you. It's not necessarily mean that your enroller, the person who introduced you. It could be. It doesn't have to be. What an My5 is, it's not just anybody. It has to be somebody who is qualified. In other words, they've been in the business, they're doing it, they're active, they know what they're doing. So if you're in a new market, chances are your My5 can start maybe 5, 6 levels above the person who's actually enrolled you. It can happen. So be it. Find out who is in your upline, My5. These are people who do it full time or they're doing it very seriously. They've been around a long time. They're award winners. They're making money. Find those people. Don't get your cue necessarily from people just above you who you know closely and they're new in the business or they're not really active, they're not really serious. They can't help you. My5 is qualified offline. And perhaps we should put this on this list and update it so we're very clear on that. You want to find out who are your My 5. Now, the nice part about our business is a binary system. That means all the company millionaires, all the Princess Cup winners, chances are vast majority of them happen to be in your upline anyways. Because a binary system, it just goes down to branch of 2. So what a wonderful opportunity it is for you to work with the top cream of the crop, the people who have done it. They lead with example, not with theory. These are the people who happen to be in your upline. Doesn't matter what country you're in. Doesn't matter which branch you're in. Doesn't matter if you're inside of the inside of the inside of the inside lake. It makes no difference. Your My 5, if you go high enough, you'll find people who have won cups. And you want to make sure that you find out who they are, you put yourself on the map, and you ask them for their support. And guess what? You will get it. Because in our business, we pay to infinity, and it doesn't recognize which leg, common, personal. It doesn't recognize that. The CV is CV, commissionable volume, gets pushed up, and your My 5 understand it better than anyone else. So make sure that you and your people get this list filled up, your My 5, which is your qualified uplines. If that's your enroller, great. If your enroller is not active or they're new, then you want to find some 5 who are active, who are doing well, who won some awards. My 3, your important reasons why you want to do this business. Now again, we got to change this why I joined GWT. This is the old way of talking. Why I launched. This is what you want. You launched them all because we changed the concept in phase 3, which is a year and a half ago. So your 3 reasons. This is your driver, by the way. Because you know what? You'll get consumed by life. This is how we operate as human beings. As human beings, whoever is a thorn on our side gets the attention. Whoever is, it's more pressing, doesn't matter if it's important or not. If you're pressed, that's what we'll do. If it feels good, that's what we'll do. Now, it could be a complete waste of time. Maybe it's not helping you at all towards your targets and promises. But you know what? It's fun. We'll do it anyways. So what keeps you focused is that you want to make sure that you have some very strong reasons why you're doing this. And I'll tell you something, for most people, including myself, when I first got started, even up to today, at a different level, is that, look, I want certain things that I don't have right now, and I want it really bad. In the past, it was about having that financial freedom, not having that debt, not having this, getting that car that I want, being able to travel to places I want to go. Right now, I still got some targets, maybe at a different level, but I still got some things that I really, really want. Drives me to work. It drives me to be away from the great one, which is my 5-year-old, what's happening in my pulse. I have some very strong why I could do this and being away from him. You need those whys. In absent of those whys, those hot buttons, what's going to happen? You'll be active for 2 weeks. They get consumed by life. So you've got to make sure you understand. Sit down sometime and put some time on this one. Top 3 reasons why you launched. And if you need help, get you My 5. So listen, help me with this section because it's a very, very important section. You want to be clear on it. It has to be important to you, not to your upline, not to whoever. It has to be really important to you. You need tools. It kind of shocks me. For 25 years now, people will come in, invest $2,000 into an opportunity, and yet they don't want to spend a $10 tool to go promote it. Remember one thing, you may be the world's greatest chef, you have the best steak, you have the best vegetables, best spice. If you don't have a pot, you're not going to be able to make a great meal because you need those tools to be able to make that great meal or create that special whatever it is you're trying to create. In business, it's the same thing. You need tools. You've got a gorgeous mall. You've got to get out there and promote it. Of course, the lookbook. One of the best in the industry. What an amazing way to present who this fashion house is. Because in absent of this lookbook, you only limit it basically to your PFA, which is Parts for All Kit, with your initial package. And that's not who we are. That's initial package. But you need to have these tools, and you need to have them in abundance. Just because you come with a few copies in your initial package, that's just a sampler. You're going to need 200, 300, 400 of these things in order for you to efficiently promote your business at all the time. We got the world's accolades. We got we've mesmerized the global media everywhere. and you have all of that. We call that the Mag Pack. So talk about third-party credibility. Indirect sales, especially when you're new, what's very important is that third-party credibility. No other company on the planet has what we've got. When I was on the field, our third-party credibility, it wasn't the media, it wasn't real third-party accolades. What it was is that we used our upline story. We used somebody else in the company who was doing well. Same company, but at least that's all we had. Here, we got the world accolades from all this major business and trade media that telling our story better than we can. Again, you have some samples in your kit, but don't stop there. Make sure that you order a lot more of it. We have some awesome posters. These posters, I think there was 8 of them. Some of them to find VIP customers, some of them to find luxury consultants to launch the VDM. Some promote the mall, some promote the product. You can get that. Some of those samples come in your kit. You order more of it for physical transaction. Well, they also come online. We actually have the electronic version. You can get those from your back office and send it to everybody in your address book. Again, use it. It's there. We've done it for you. It's there. We don't have a lot. I keep the forensic very tight for a reason. But there is a couple of things that you have to show up to the convention once a year to actually get a taste of it, because even at the convention, it's 10 hours of intensive training. It will change your perspective on the business, but even that is a small portion of what this university is about. That said, we do have one of the most important CDs available to you. It's called the Forensic Upline. Go get it. Go get it. I even put the electronic version for you on the Forensic Network and Nation Facebook page, but that, again, it's only available there. Make sure you have the CD. It's in your car. You're driving, sit at the CD, or whenever you are with your team, make sure you're listening to it. Trust me, that CD, the Forensic Upline, will make sure you don't make a lot of mistakes that a lot of people make, as well as make your life a lot easier with some problem customers you may have. Important chapter to listen to. Okay, that's preparation. Let's get started now. Obviously, when you first launch, you want to get your free PFA kit. PFA stands for Posh for All. Magnificent product line. What Posh did for us, by the way, because sometimes people say, Ramin, wow, you got the Ferry Mosh, the company that invented the 21K, the company that's the Bugatti of the luxury jewelry world. You got the Ferry, one of the fastest growing, one of the most prestigious designers. And then say, well, I can't see the relations between Posh and then the other two. Trust me, life without Posh was much slower. Vast majority of your check will come from Posh. Posh, from a car point of view, what Posh did for our business is basically supercharged our engine. That's what it did. Because we take a look at the fastest growing direct sales companies in the world are home party companies, and it allowed us to open up that branch. So now we have the internet division, we have the home branding party division, and of course we have building a team division. You can call it network marketing, relationship marketing, educational based marketing, whatever you want to call it. But Posh, that's why it is the initial package. Not only you have it you have it right away to wear, to show. Now you can go make some sales, put some money in your pocket right away. In Canada and US, your PFA is included in your bib. So you get your bib, it's automatic, you launch, automatically your system triggers it, our distribution center in Ajax sends it out the next day, you got it. If you're international, when you launch, you actually have to go to your back office and you have to order your Posh. The advantage to that is you have a bigger selection, and the reason why we did that is because of customs. We want to make sure we don't have any delays at the customs in some of these countries, where before, when BIB went to all the countries, BIB includes the PFA, IBIB does not include the PFA. PFA has to be ordered separately, because before, when we send the BIB internationally, some countries you got stuck at the border, and we want to make sure that you have no delays. The speed of this business starts from the day you launch. So we do everything we can to mainstream this so much that there is no delay. You say yes, you launch, you go. So that's why internationally we have what we call IBIB. It's basically the same kit as the BIB, except BIB has the PFA included. IBIB, you have to actually log into your back office and get your Posh product ordered, and that gets shipped to you separately. Okay, share with others. Go social media. Text Blast is a fantastic way. By the way, mobile is the way of the future. That's why you may be getting bunch of advertising coming to your cell phone. You don't even know where it came from. I'm getting them because mobile is a way of the future. Make sure that you download some of those cool apps that you can get for free. And Ahoy allows you to prioritize your leads, so you can put your leads in one file and your LCs in another file and so forth. And text blast is a great way to promote your business. Email blast. Everybody uses email. Your address book, they're there for a reason. Make sure that you're email blasting them with your opportunity. People get this all the time. As long as you do it tastefully using our tools, nobody minds that. They're on your address book. Don't do 5,000 at a time. Just go out there, do 5, 10 at a time. We'll talk about that later. You can use any kind of script that you want. We have one sample here for you. I partnered up with the fastest growing designer in the world. They're launching the biggest branding campaign here in your city, wherever that is, or whatever the city of the prospect you're emailing it to is. I want to invite you to my launch party. They will contact your Wi-Fi right away, because from the time that you launch, you want to make sure that you have a launch party within 7 days. And you want to include the picture of your PFA. As soon as you get your PFA, you include that in all your advertising and promotional campaigns. Let people see the physical thing that you've received. Email campaigns are fantastic. We have this thing called introductory email. Again, it's on the Forensic Networker Nation Facebook page. It's there. You can download it. You can customize the first part. The rest is ready to go. Or you can go to your back office. It's also in your back office. Before you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning, at lunchtime, break time, whatever, make sure 5 candidates per day get this email. So you have to spend an hour to create the first part, that however you like to make it, and then the rest is ready for you to go. It has some links, some videos of what we feel is really important. And then you just send out 5 per day. Now let's look what happens. The power of numbers. You send out 5 per day. That's 150 per month. That's 1,800 candidates per year get a chance to see your product in your mall. Hear about your products in your mall. That's a lot of leads. So it's important that you take the time to look. You do other things anyways. You're on YouTube, watching videos, you're doing other emails. Make sure this is part of your MO. Family and friends, close associates, just go visit them. I mean, you don't have to hide behind the keyboard for that. Call them, go visit them, show them your PFA, have them try it on, and use the Glamour Pack. What is a Glamour Pack? It's basically a lookbook combination with Mag Pack. We talked about this earlier. Put them together, that becomes a Glamour Pack. It's the most impressive package in the industry. All right. Start with 3. You want to start your list. Write down your hotshot 7 names right away and what I call your best 250. Why I call the best 250? Because social studies have done by social psychologists. If you're over the age 20, you know 2,000 people by first name basis. 2,000 people. The studies have been done. Now you have to jog a memory to get those names, but so you know them. If you're over age 20, you know them. So we say take your best 250 over the next 7 days, put it on the list. 7 hot shot tonight. The minute you launch, you get your 7 hot shot with your enroller and your My5, and you smile and dial and share. Remember, your list is the lifeline of your business. Without it, you'll be very spotty at best. At best. You'll be one of those guys that have like 5 people on your list and you don't need a list in your mind, because you know 5 people that are going to make you rich. You know it. That's it. I don't need 250, Ramin. I know 5 people are going to make me rich. I'm going to put my job on these 5 people. Then you call those 5 people. 3 are not available. 1 is, or you won't get a hold of 3. 1 is busy and 1 is not interested. All of a sudden, you come around to your sponsor, enroller the next day, well, nobody I know is interested. But no, you never made the list. All right, so you want to make sure that follow the system. I always talk about this. In a traditional business, you need inventory of products. In MLM, your inventory is people. You need that list. So start working on it. Your hotshot 7, and we got 8 spots here for you, and your best 250, and yes, you know them. It doesn't matter if you come from wherever you come from, the most remote part of Australia. And trust me, you'll know jungle bunnies that you grew up with. You know people. Doesn't matter what country you're from. You know people. And since we are a global business, there is no excuse. Since our products are pre-approved in every country in the world, doesn't require product approval, you could do this anywhere. It's not like other companies where we can't ship our products to that country because in the health and welfare or FDA purposes. Here, the world is your market. So no excuses. Work on that list. Next, schedule your home and online branding party immediately, especially if you're new in the market. The best way to generate leads, do a branding party. You invite 5 people, tell them to bring friends. Next thing you know, you got 15 people there. There's 15 new leads for you. It's also the fastest way to get the diamond and get your bonuses. Fastest way to find enough leads to go win the Diplomat Challenge, Ambassador Challenge with $26,500 in bonuses. You want to make sure you utilize the effectiveness of our visual products. Again, with any other product, with other companies, with telecom, with health and wellness, you can't really do home branding parties. You know, some of them try to do home parties and stuff, but you know what? It's difficult to do that. In this one, people show up. It's visual. They understand it from before, without explanation. They understand it because that's we grew up with these things, and instantly you've got yourself some prospects who are highly interested, not to mention some sales. The pipeline. The pipeline is really, really important. When I was on the field, I made sure constantly that my pipeline of prospects was jammed all the time. If you want to consistently grow, you want to make sure that you're constantly putting people in this pipeline. You know there's a pipe, you keep putting leads from one end, you keep pushing more leads, and the leads keep moving forward toward the pipe. Eventually they start coming up from the other side and they become VDMs. They launch their VDMs. Sometimes the pipeline clogs up in the middle. As long as you keep on pushing them in from one side, eventually it may be a blank for a little while, but next year, 3 or 4 pop up at the same time. It's called the pipeline. Make sure that you drop off glamour packs, send out e-lookbooks constantly to your international candidates. So local ones, hand them over the physical one. International ones, make sure that you're constantly sending over we have the e-lookbook right now. We do have a lot of videos. Make sure that your pipeline is constantly filled with prospects. So again, locally, let's talk locally because I always say work local, think global. Locally, you should always have at least a rotation of 25 glamour packs out to your business candidates. So you drop it off, 2 days later you pick it up, or they're either ready to launch, or they need more time, or they're not ready yet. Doesn't matter. You got 25 of these things constantly rotating. You're not losing it either because if they're not interested, you're taking them back. But you want to make sure you constantly got these things. If you do this, if you got 25 glamour packs constantly in rotation, I can guarantee you have consistent weekly VDM launches and retail sales in your team consistently because you got 25, other people have 25. Next thing you know, you have a business that is duplicating and evolving. So make sure you got these glamour packs. Importance of buying extras. Don't rely on the ones that comes in your kit. That's just a sampler. You want to make sure you order hundreds of these and you constantly got to get them out to your people of interest. You should constantly send out e-lookbooks to everyone in your address book again, especially on special occasions because there's about dozens of special occasions that people spend a lot of money on. Did you know Mother's Day? $27 billion is spent on jewelry alone. One day, $27 billion worth of jewelry. Not in the fashion business. We're in a $1.2 trillion industry. Imagine the VIP registrations, the retail profits that you will have just by getting these things out on a regular basis. Not to mention, when you have a customer, get them a VIP registration right away. Doesn't matter if that customer came from a branding party or somebody at work bought something. Get them a VIP registration and constantly email them the e-lookbook or something new that comes up. That creates also client loyalty. You ever bought something and they constantly email you? You know why they do that? Because they want to make sure you stay loyal to them. Okay, so you can use internet options to reach people, which is great. They're not quite as effective as a physical thing, but again, we have plenty of tools for you to use, especially your GWT website, as well as take your favorite fashion show video. It's called Ferry on the Runway. Those fashion shows are loved by prospects. Again, find your favorite 2 videos or platforms on the internet and use them to constantly communicate with your potential customers. So if your prospect happens to be in direct sales or MLM professional, people who've been in it for a long time, and we all know people like that, or if you want to go on the internet and find some of those people, make sure that you give them the following 2 videos. These videos are the biggest paradigm crusher ever invented. And we have right now, the last stat that I have is 91 million people in MLM, 144 countries, and that gives us 91 million confused people, because right now what's going on in health and wellness and telecom, it's a complete confusion. It's become real nasty business out there because every day 2 companies pop and they all have the best service and product. So right now there is absolutely no loyalty or security with those companies. That's where the retention used to be 10, is probably even less than that right now. You have an opportunity to really capture a big market of that. Send them. These 2 are designed for MLM professionals, or at least people who've been at it a long time. You don't need to send this to people who have never done the business or done it seriously. We don't need to make those people aware of potential problems that they'll never face in GWT. So don't send these videos to people who've never done MLM before or direct sales before. This is for people who've come from the industry who can understand it. One of the 25 reasons why GWT products are the best in MLM to market. The second one is the locker room talk, what I don't want you to know video. That's the one that we did for the Blue Ocean. Again, these videos can be found on our YouTube channel, Global Wealth Corporation. It can be found in your back office. Make sure that if you're dealing with somebody who comes from the industry, that you go ahead and include those 2 videos in your communication. Party promote, stay connected. The branding party. The branding party is just pure fun. You know, it can be done in your home. It can be done in someone else's home, and they get a nice host, get a nice host gift for doing that. Branding party can even be demoed online. I know Janet Beaver, Ambassador Beaver's going to be talking about that shortly. She's working on some stuff on that. So it could also even be done at your prospect's home. So if your prospect can't come, you know, personal candidate misses your, say for example, you had like 20 registrations and 15 showed up and 5 didn't show up because they got consumed by life. You know what? Get your PFA, get whatever you've got, deck yourself out with what you've got, go to their home and show them the lookbook, show them your PFA, show them whatever you're wearing. Go online. You can actually do this in your prospect's home. Again, branding party gets you leads. At the end of the day, it starts with that. So if you're starting now for 7 days, you've got to do a showing somewhere. And call it the launch party, invite people, and just show them the product lines, show them the business. That's as simple as that. Promote next. What are you promoting? Well, the next event. The next event could be the next branding party that you're doing. And you know, some of you do branding parties weekly. Great. Some should be doing it daily. If you guys are, because we have a lot of full-time people. If you're full-time, why not have a daily branding party? Either it's for you or somebody in your team. You should be doing this daily. So if it's possible for your timing. So it's a branding party for yourself, branding party for someone in your team or someone else. Maybe that's the next conference call, the webinar, Tuesday night webinar, Sunday night webinar. How about that hotel tour or tour in someone's home? Whether that's that Super Saturday, that the monthly boot camp. You always want to promote. You promote the business presentations to the prospects, and you promote the next training session to your LCs. You want to make sure that you're constantly promoting this, because if you do that, it becomes a culture of connectivity. If you don't do that, it becomes, you know, everyone on your team is going to be extremely lost because there's going to be a lack of communication if you don't have that culture. Also, by promoting always the next thing, it allows you to constantly elevate and escalate your stature, your ranks in this company. And obviously, you want to start as a diamond. The next thing would be going to diplomat. What you want to do, hopefully, you can go ahead and win the next ambassador challenge next 30 days. Diamond, really, most people are not doing it. They start that way, but there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get there, either starting that way, either you're working your way up completely, or combination of two within the next 7 days. Again, you do that by promote, and promote. So again, the trend, it starts always with you. The culture, it starts with you. If you do what we're talking about next 30 days here, you'll find lightning speed growth in your team, and that will take you to the 10K club. If you're, again, connected in any way, you know that we've been promoting 10K club members left and right. And it's not just North America. It's all over the world. It's happening all over the world. The 10K club is basically $10,000 a month. That's when you reach it. And we have right now, again, we talked about the culture. For example, last month, Comfort from Nigeria, she earned over $26,000 last month in Nigeria. Well, last 5 weeks, this young lady's been close to $40,000. How would you like to make $40,000 in the next 5 weeks? And you know why? Because again, she is a fierce recruiter. She's out there working extremely hard, and that has duplicated in her team. It's not just her making money. There's a whole bunch of people like Ambassador Hopewell and so forth. People out there making $10,000 a month, $8,000 a month, and more. Last week we had 26 people from Nigeria on our commission list. This week we topped last week. How would that make you feel? All these people in your team. That's a new team, by the way, Nigeria. How would you like it in your team? And people making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, $12,000 a month in your team. Forget about your personal income. At $26,000 a month, we're having all these other people changing their lives. Again, the culture starts with you. We should bring me to the next one. Launch the right culture in your team. One of the ones is the culture of connectivity. We talked about this earlier again. Start a Tuesday, Sunday culture. Tuesday is this webinar. Sunday is the Sunday night advanced webinar. If you do it, your entire team will do it. You've got to be on. Make sure your team knows that you're on. In other words, be visible. And if they're not on it, question them why they're not on it. If the time zone does not permit, and I know it can happen, and soon we'll have some announcements towards that, having zone webinars on the same day. But if you happen to be in a country that that your time zone doesn't match on Tuesday, Sunday, you know what? You can have your own with your My5, or you can use a recorded version of what we did and treat it as live. Somebody will host it live. You press the button, and they hear exactly what the rest of the world heard, and then you talk about it afterwards. So no excuses. To start the culture of connectivity and start a culture of connecting with your My5. I don't like it when I go to remote markets and I find out people saying, well, you know what, my enroller quit, you know, nobody helped me. At the office, sometimes we get people who want to actually get off their IA. You know, like, yes, you know, we got the best stats in the world. But for us, even for us, about 50% get off on their IA. So when we find out why, vast majority of times, well, my enroller quit, so I figure I quit too. So again, start a culture of connectivity. So if you're busy, your people are supported by your My5. In absence of that, when you stop, your team most likely will stop. When you're confused, your team will likely be confused. You go on vacation, your team will stop working. Make sure that you start a culture of connectivity. The minute you bring somebody in, you link it to My5, and that culture will start. They'll link their people to the My5, and so on. Now, your business is beyond you personally, and that's what you want. You want a business that's self-functional, that will go on with or without you. So that connectivity to the My5 is a vital part of that. Create a culture of attending and promoting the next live event. We talked about it a little bit earlier on again. Local, regional, national, international seminars, conventions. Connectivity equals retention and activity in your team. I mentioned earlier, you know, we always ask a question when somebody doesn't want to renew, you know, or someone wants to get the IA. 9 out of 10 times is because they feel lost. It's not that they don't like the company. Everybody loves what we do. It's that they feel a bit lost. So make sure that your people are connected. They come into these regional, national events. You should be as passionate about the convention to your team as I am on these calls. So again, my position is no different than your position. I am a CEO of my own company. You are the CEO of your own company. You've got to be just as passionate about your business as I am with my business. And if you do that, you get similar results. Culture of speed. Your MO, which is method of operation, your MO speed will determine the speed of your team growth. So if it takes you 30 days to go diamond, that's the culture. You start as a diamond, the people who can afford it, that's the culture. If it takes you 7 days to get there, that's the culture. If you never get there, that's the culture for most of the people, even if they can afford it. So whatever you do will become the culture in your team. So with the help of your My5, set the following targets immediately for yourself and share it with your team. Diamond buy. If it's instantly, put instantly. And put a date on it. If it took 7 days, put 7 days. Put a date on it. Diplomat buy. If it took 30 days, you've seen we've had 51-minute diplomats. I think the record is like 9 minutes. So it's not a difficult thing to do. It doesn't have to take 9 minutes. Just go do it in 30 days. It only takes 3. That's all it takes. If you have any type of activity, you'll get there. You just have to make sure you do what we talked about on this call, and you put some energy into it, and you'll get there. So diplomat buy. So if you launch today, you fill this up, and you show it to the next person you launch. And next thing you know, they look at you, and they set their own targets. And their people look at them and set their own targets. Now that's duplicating. Now that's becoming a culture, and you're going to see the explosion. Ambassador buy, regional ambassador buy, national buy, global. How about $1 million earnings? Million is good. It's got a ring to it, right? In this day and age, it's not really even a lot of money anymore, but it's got a nice ring to it. You become an MLM millionaire, officially become part of the top 1% of the industry, like Renee Lia's done, like Reza's done, and a few more are very close to getting there in our business. So again, write down those dates, and now you put yourself accountable to other people, to yourself, and that's a great culture to start. By the way, ambassador for 30 days should be a must. I mean, you should be going for that. But doesn't matter. You'll get there. For your new people that you launch, if these people have, when I talk to people who have come from the industry, who have experience, who have a good circle on them, I talk about RA, regional ambassador, in 6 months. 6 months. So in other words, this is the fastest you can get there. So in other words, they have to basically come in the first month. They need a minimum of 16 personal VDMs. So give them those targets, because see, just because you didn't have that circle, you didn't come from that background, don't limit your new people based on what you had or what you did, because you can do that. You can limit them based on your expectation. Let them be free. Let them go for it. RA in 6 months, 8 months, it can happen. It is happening. Soon we'll have some announcement on some people who've done it in those time frames. Refer to Launchpad document. Sean Haynes took you through that earlier on. For more details on how to achieve the above, because we talked about Diamond Ambassador again. If you've been on the call tonight since the beginning, you know what those things are. I want you to fill this part out. My VDM launch date is this date. My first business call is this date. I want you to know one thing. Your MO is setting the culture for your team. So if it took you 7 days to make the first call, guess what? That would be the expectation you'll have for your people, and chances are that will be the culture. If it took you 3 months to get on your first Tuesday night webinar, guess what? You're not promoting to your people either, and they're not getting on. If you're not getting on the Sunday night, they're not doing it. If you get in right away and get on it, guess what? The minute you launch a VDM, the very first Sunday, you're telling them to get on it. My first branding party day, if you've never done one, you're not talking about it. If you've done one, and you're talking about it. My first business income, how long did it take you to make the first, whatever, $10? Doesn't make a difference. Retail profit, wholesale, could be you launched them all, you made $50 or $10, or you sold a Posh piece, made $25, or maybe you just cycled, made $500, whatever. How long did it take you to do that? By the way, that's a very impressive field there, because although to you making that $500 might not be a lot, the $150, to the person you're talking to, the vast majority of your prospects will be impressed to know that in the first week you made yourself $300, because that is an impressive bonus that any family can use around the world. I know in North America, the difference between solvency and bankruptcy is $300 a month. That's it, $300 a month. Over 90% of people who've been bankrupt, had they had an extra $300 a month, they wouldn't have actually gone bankrupt. Because if you're 300 short this month, you're 600 next month, 900 short the following month, eventually you've got a big line of credit and credit cards are full, eventually you pull the plug. If you had an extra $300 a month, you will have never got, most of these people will have never got to bankruptcy. So don't think just because you made $500, $200, it's not a good story. It's a great story, and make sure you share it with passion. So that's the next 30 days action plan. Tuesday night is like I said, the most important call of the week. Tonight it took a bit longer because obviously I'm introducing this myself and I get into a lot of detail. We should be able to do it, both sides of it, whether it's the Launchpad as well as the next 30-day action plan, in about 45 minutes to about an hour. But that is a very small time to allocate to something that could completely change your life, like it has to Sean Haynes and many others. So at this point, Sean, I'll pass the call back to you. My time is up. All I got to say is that don't miss the convention, folks. We're going to have the biggest releases we've ever had, and do your business justice. Go ahead and read what we talked about tonight and start implementing it. Doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. Treat it as if tonight is the first day that you'll launch your VDM, and start following this, and you're going to see results. Back to you, Sean.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ramin. Absolutely incredible. This next 30 days action plan, I know it's going to explode people's businesses even into more records on what's been happening in global wealth trade, and privilege and honor to have you training this tonight. So all our luxury consultants around the world, thank you for joining us tonight. You've learned from our absolute visionary founder, CEO, master trainer, Ramin Mesgarlou. Now you just got to put this information into action. Applied knowledge is power, so apply it, take action with it, and run to success, run to 10K a month, run to ambassador, all the way to global and to that $1 million in earnings. Now, of course, we have some incredible events coming up where you get a chance to be with our CEO, be trained by our CEO. First, this weekend coming up in Montreal. We do have Montreal Power Tour this Friday night, April 11th, followed by Boot Camp Saturday, April 12th, with our very own CEO. Coming up at the end of this month, we have our Caribbean Regional Center expansion in St. Martin from April 23rd to 26th. Again, with our CEO, Ramin Mesgarlou, as well as our Senior VP, Sanaz Human. And then, of course, our annual convention. You're going to get trained the Forensic Networker by our very own CEO. So absolutely, those are all tremendous events. If you can be at all of them, be at all of them. I know I will be, so I'm excited. And I know everybody else who is. It's going to be the best training of your life. But if nothing else, definitely you got to be at our annual convention. So again, thanks to everyone who joined us tonight on this call. Thanks most especially to our CEO for this great training tonight. Let's go out and apply this. Let's build $1 billion. Sean Haynes saying good night. Thank you, everyone.